Hello and welcome back to another review. Today I'll be bringing you no other than the Arteza White Gel Pens. They are absolutely amazing and they do exactly what it says on the box. Now, these pens are high opacity, smooth for writing. They are indeed acid free and ideal for adding accents and highlights in any artwork that you do. These are going to be a must in every colorist or artist's pencil case. We all have gel pens for our highlighting things, and these, I'm going to say now, are better than my favourite Signo Uniball. Even I think they're even better than the Posca, purely because when they say they flow constantly, yes, yes they do. They are really, really good. And another great thing about these, they do not yellow, nor do they fade, and they're also smudge resistant. So if I had done this and then I was working on something over here and I was rubbing, it won't smudge off the page. They will stay just as bright. Now, I have got some test things to do because it says that you can use these gel pens for highlights or textured effects on all your work. So different types of paints, markers, watercolor, pencils. You can write with them. So as you can see, this is my little doodle what I've done. I am going to do another one of this. So we'll cover that up for now. And down here, we have got some test patches. Now, this is just pure glitter, just glitter glue. Then we've got some acrylic Posca marker pens. So they're acrylic paint, and then we've got some more acrylic paint down here. And then we've got alcohol markers and watercolor. Now these are saying that these pens will cover on all of them. Now I am going to test them out. Sorry, everything falling off today. I'm going to test all of these out and keep them in shot, should I say. So let me just come down a little bit closer. So we've got our test paper and we've got our tester pens as well. So I'll be comparing these against the Uni Posca, the Uni Ball, and then the Uni Paint Marker and the Jelly Roll White. Because most of us use these, and these are the Arteza. So let's take a look at the Arteza. Now, I'm not too sure. I pronounce them Arteza products, and other people pronounce them Arteza. I am not sure which way around they are, but I have heard so many different versions of it. So let me just pull the camera up a second just to give you all a look at these. So they're a really good quality pen. You get a 1mm, a 0.8 and a 0.6. They're all white. Let's turn that round. They're all round and they've just got this easy push on, push off nib. They don't come with anything on the end that you don't have to pick up. Do excuse my hands, they're full of paint from the things I've been doing previous. But this is more like your normal ballpoint pen size nib. And then you've got the 0.8, which is slightly smaller. And then you've got your 0.6, which again is slightly smaller again. So I'm just going to go with the one because I think the most of these 0.7, let me just check what all these are and I can do an actual fair comparison. I think I'm going to go with the 0.8 because most of these are 0.7 or 0.8. So this is the Arteza White Gel Pen. So we're going to just put a line straight over the glitter. So should I come closer down so you can see these? And I'm going to put a nice, and I'm moving on over to each paint one. And I'm not having to stop or wipe anything. And they're just going over. And this is a metallic. So I just wanted to see as well. They say They don't yellow. Now what I want to see, and what I have seen with these pens, and they probably will do it, I want to see if that colour, this is why I've used reds and I've used pinks, because when I have done, there'll be one on here, so when I've done my swatch cards for my on-screen colour swatches for what I'm using, if you can see here, this is the Posca, and the white has actually gone pink. So if I was to show, just do this side for example, and whiten that back up, you can see the difference, that one half is pink, one half is white. So I want to see if that does it. Now it's not done it so far, it's normally instant with the Posca, but we'll see that when we come to compare in a second. And then this is just an actual acrylic paint done with a brush, and it's gone over here ever so nicely. So just come down for a nice little close-up of all of them, and you can see the bright white each and every one of them. And let me just go again with the watercolour, so we'll act as though this is a nice little bubble here. I would say it's not as bright for some reason on the watercolour. Not too sure whether you saw that then, so let me just put another layer here. It's not as opaque on the watercolour for some reason, don't know why. And then we'll put another layer on here. So on the black paper and the paints, it is a lot brighter. So there you have it. That is the Arteza ones. So now let me go against the Jelly Roll. So this is the Jelly Roll pen. Now I'm not the biggest fan of these. So straight over the glitter again in a nice line. Straight away you can see it's not anywhere near as opaque. A nice little light curve, as I call it. Goes better on there, but still not nowhere near as opaque as the Arteza. So that was the Jelly Roll. So let's do this inside of here. Again, it might be because it needs to dry but a bit more, but it's still nowhere near as opaque. Can you see the difference? This is the Jelly Roll. And it is slightly not as opaque as the Arteza. So the Arteza, the Jelly Roll is just underneath it. Let me just take out some of this light, because that light is making it quite bright. See if I put that over there. So let me tone down my lights, because I think my lights are making it look really bright. So let me just tone down some of these. There we go. There we go. So that's a bit better. It's not as in your face. I would like it to be lighter than that when I'm coming to do these kind of things. I'm trying to keep them all in view, and they're kind of coming out of view. So that was the Jelly Roll. So I'll put over here what we've used. Then I'm going to use one of my favourites, which would be the Uni Ball Signo. So straight away I'm going to go over the glitter again. And then we're going to do the curve on this side. The curve on this side. The curve on this side. And then this side on these. And this really doesn't want to go over the watercolour paper, it's like pulling a little bit. And then the same here with our curve of that one. So then next up is going to be my Uni Paint Marker. I can get the lid off, it's so stiff. So here, I'm just going to put the paint in there over the glitter. As you can see, definitely nowhere near as opaque. And we've already got some yellow in, and that's over the alcohol marker. And then lastly, the one that most people use is the Posca metal nibbed one. So let me just prime this and get it ready. They have nice little explosions with this pen sometimes. So again, over with the glitter. And then we'll do a nice little circle on here. I'm just going to do one continuous circle. And then a circle on this one. And a circle on this one. And a circle in the middle of that one. Now the only one I did miss out then, and sorry about that, is here. Is the paint pen I didn't do on the acrylic paint. I did it on that one and that one. Okay, so they're the different tests. So let me bring them up to camera and show you. So as you can see, the one that stands out the most on all of them would be the white Arteza pen. Very consistent. And the second close, I would say it would be the Uniball Signo is the brightest. But these are small, but you can see that, you know, there is lines missing in them, and that one is quite opaque. And then we'll do the same with these. I'll bring the camera down and you can see them. So on here, close up. Sorry, I don't want the glare to go on. On the glitter, you probably say the Posca is probably equivalent over glitter to the Arteza pens. And then on the Posca pen, so on your acrylic paints, I would suggest that, I don't know why they're going so bright. Let me just turn this light off here completely, because that's giving it a false look. It's quite frustrating that it's glaring out. I don't know if this is the camera. Let's turn it away. There we go. So there you go. You can see the true style of them. I know you can see all the shadowing, but at least this gives you the actual true. So this is your Arteza pen. And actually the next best on this one was the paint marker. But on here, you can see that the Arteza again was probably the best performer. And then the rest are probably on par with each other. On the pink, you've got the Arteza again. Trying to stop it going in that light so you don't get a false view of them. And then again on the gold, you can see that the brightest again is the Arteza and the rest are quite grey. And also on the pink, the white paint is turning pink. Not so much on the red, but the pink is definitely coming through the white, and the gold is definitely coming through on this white here, but it's not actually coming through on the white Arteza. So let me just lift my camera back up. So that is my test for different medias, and it's standing out, and that you can go over this rough glitter and it still gives you a consistent line, and that's gone over. I mean, I'm quite impressed with that, but even on my big drawing here, you can see all three different sizes have gone over the top of that glitter. And there you have it on there, and it's quite rough glitter. It's not, you can hear how rough it is. So that's performed really well on there. So let's do the writing test with them. So first of all, I'll do it with all three different size ones. So first of all, oh, the lids don't go in the end. I thought they might have done, but they don't. So I'll turn to the side because I have to write like this. So this is the 1 mm length one. So that was the 1 mm one. So I didn't stop. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to stop when I'm writing with them. So again, all I'm going to do is give them a swirl actually on this side to get them going. I'll do that with all of them. So again, shell. Oops. This is the last one. Sorry, that was 0.6. So I've gone wrong sizes here. So that was the 0. Let me just write that on. That was the 0.6. I was supposed to use the 0.8. And that was the 1. And this one is the 0.8. So let me get that going again. Do that top shell. And this is the 0.8. So you can see there the consistency of the flow. I've not had to stop. I've not had to go over it once. Really bright and vibrant all the way across. So next up, we will use the jelly roll. The Sakura jelly roll. So I said I'll start them all off first. And I'll do exactly the same. I won't stop. And this doesn't have a size on it, so I'll just put a dot at the end of that. Then the Uni Signo pen, put it the right way around. And the dot here to start this one to make it fair. And this one is it doesn't have a size on this one either. So we'll just put a dot. Okay, the Posca, just make sure it's going. I know these are paint pens and people say, you know, it's different because this is an acrylic paint, but we still all use them for the same thing. And it's which one will give us the best highlight effect. And this is the paint one, the Uni Paint, which works exactly the same as a Posca pen basically. So let me just prime this one, get this one ready. And as you can see, that one doesn't perform very well at all. So there you go, the 3 different sizes, and as you can see, probably the brightest of the Artezas would be the 1mm one, and then they do go slightly less bright in the next 2, but not by much. They are consistent. I mean, on this occasion, my Signo Jelly Roll was quite consistent. It did start bright and then start lightening off, and then picks up a few brighter bits and then lightens off again. Sorry, no, that was the Jelly Roll. Gosh, I'm getting confused. That was the Jelly Roll, sorry. Then the Signo. So the Signo was just a consistent lighter colour all the way across. Then the Posca. And then the paint pen. So that's that one. So we will do now the lines just to show the consistency. So this is the 1mm. This is the 8mm. And this is the 6mm. To me, there's not much difference in them lines. Okay, and then we'll do lines here. So the Sakura Jelly Roll. The Signo Uni Ball. And the Posca. Which doesn't want to play very well. But as you can see, all the others, apart from the Posca, perform really well. They've all had a consistent line, and then the Posca's a bit bright, and then it dulls off, even though in this light you can't, it does look like one solid white line. But still, they're the 3 brightest along the lines, and then Posca's coming in second, and then the Signo and the Jelly Roll will probably be the last, and the least or the worst is the paint pen. Now, last, I've got to say there is one last trick that you can do with the Arteza. They are water soluble so long as you do it when they're wet. So I'm using the 1mm one here. You can only do it while it's wet. So if you was doing any kind of veil, you could use the edge and then you could fan it out, which would give you that lovely effect of like a net. Could even get a lovely glow, so you could really put an edge around that and pull it out and give you a glow from round your gel pen. So if we started this at the top here, really bright, and then pull it down. So that's another good thing to add, that they are water soluble but only when wet. So this is dry up here, and I'll use this dot here that we've used. Now it will take it away, but what it'll do, it'll just get rid of it. Even though it's dry, but where that has spread the colour down and stayed bright, if you do it once it's dry, it will just take the colour away. And also, if people like to smudge with the gel pens, you can still do that. Put your finger on and pull it out. They want to have a nice smudge effect. If you don't want to do it with your finger, I do have this tool, what I like to use, and it's just one of them silicone spatulas. Just pull the ends off them. These wooden ones generally come off. And I'll put the gel pen on, push it in and drag it out. That gives you a bit more of a controlled. Needs to be wetter actually. I need to get more on the page. Got to be really quick. There we go. That's much better. Just keep pulling. And there's one thing I've found out as well. So if I do a quick patch here and colour that in. And smudge that dry. And once it's dry, turn my lights back on for this, then you can see. So I want a nice pink and say a bright green for this. So you can colour over it and it actually doesn't scratch it off. Where I know with a lot of Poscas, it scratches off. Where the Arteza pens, you can colour over and it will stay exactly where it is. So that is really good if you wanted to make any highlights. This is another layer and it still stayed on. And another layer and it hasn't come off. Now with the Poscas I found, let me see if it does it with this one. Oh, let's see, Posca Explosion. Let's smudge that one a bit dry. A lot of you can scratch the Posca off with the pink pen, which is what it's doing. Not doing it too much with the green. But the coverage is far better on the Arteza than it is on the Posca. It's stayed brighter and it's gone duller on the Posca. So that's it for the testing. All that's left to do now is just give you a little quick show and tell of how I did my bubble using the Arteza pencils. Pencils, they're not pencils, are they? That's because I was looking at pencils there. So let's just get these out. Start with the biggest one first. Getting confused with which is which. Got that out of the way. These are my rainbow soap bubbles. Many people have seen me do them on my channel before. So let's just get a nice heart shape. You do still get the build up where you've got to wipe it off. Let's just get the nice heart shape in. Oh, that could have been me at the angle I went on then. I think I took the angle out a bit too far. So what I'll do now is I'll just put in the colour where I want the colour going. And straight away I've smudged it in the corner. So wherever, I just put these colours wherever I feel like putting them. I just don't go all the way to the very edge. And I kind of have it when I do these bubbles, I kind of have like an oil slick in my mind when I'm colouring them, because I want them to look like oil slick basically, and then go in between with the other colours. The less of a pattern you put in, the better. You don't want a pattern with them. It'll look far too uniform. Get the pinks. A bit of orange. Put it anywhere where it needs to, where you feel like putting it. Put a bit of blue in when we're missing a bit of blue. This is what I love about Arteza pencils, because they go over wherever you want them to. There is some green here. A bit of purple. There's obviously no real pattern. I've just gone wherever I want to go. And then the dark purple. Let me just get my noir black. There it is. And then I'll break some of that up again with the black. And this just helps with, I don't know, giving it that more soapy effect, but without a pattern, if that makes sense. This is just the way I do it. If you do it different, that's fine, but this is just basically purely to show the wiggly lines that you see in a bubble. And they always end up quite creative looking. Okay, and once you've got that like washed out soapy look, this is when the pens come back. So what I do, I'll use the bigger one for this section, and straight away I'll put the curve in for the corner, and then I'll fill that in. And straight away I'm coming across problems here that I will have come across with other pens, that it is actually not flowing. That could be because I may have not have got it started maybe before it's got any dry bits on. So we'll do another one underneath, see if that's a bit more consistent, which it is. So that could have been my fault. I really don't think it is, but we'll see. So what I do is put the bigger areas in where I want the actual bubble loops going in. They do smudge because it's all over me. They say they don't smudge, but it does. Let me just neaten that back up because that's going to annoy me. Okay, and then with the size 8, 0.8, it's going to come over some of these. Really not working well over this pencil at all, but the other one, it did really well. So I don't know what's going on here. It's not very good when I've just said, oh, they're all amazing. So here I want to, no, they're really not having it. I'll just try that with the bigger pen because that is not having it at all. They're not wanting to go over the black pencil, which is very strange indeed. And then same here. Just put some lines in here to emphasize that bubble bit. And then I want to put a big dot up here with the 1, and then the 0.8 I'm going to flick up, and then I'm going to flick down to the right and to the left, and then I'm going to use the smallest, the 0.6, and just do some little ones coming from the center. I'm going to do another one down here, pull that up, do all different size ones. The 0.8 in the little, you can see what different types we get, and then a 0.81 here, and then the 0.6 will flick out from that. That makes a smaller one. I mean, I could have a dodgy set here, but they're really not wanting to go over this pencil. And as you can see, I've got smudging all around my page from where it's not completely dry. And then one with the small one, it's drying up. Even though they say they don't, it is. And then I just want to put some little flicks lying around. Maybe some little stars. And then lastly, we get our glitter glue. And put that all in the places where you've got gap left in the pencil. I have done another tutorial on the actual round bubbles on my Halloween one, Halloween Bat Lady. if you want to check out how I've done them. And I've done big clusters of them. But these are just one of my favourite things to do. So then once you've finished putting the glitter where you want it, the glitterier the better. And that should give it the effect that we're after. It just gives it that shiny, sparkly bubble effect. So that, everyone, is the Arteza pencils. I keep saying pencils, they're not even pencils. The Arteza White Gel Pens. And they are available on Amazon now. I think they were out of stock for a few days, but they're back in stock and available now on Arteza and on Amazon. So if you'd like to see or own your own set of Arteza White Gel Pens, you won't be disappointed. I had some few issues there just with them. That could have been down to me, and I'm getting dry on the ends. So long as the ends are clear, they give you a nice consistent line. I don't think anything's going to be 100% perfect, and there's going to be times where you will get lines where it's going to miss in places, and you may have to go over it because obviously nothing's perfect. But I can't get a consistently big line like that without obviously all the way through with my other pens. So it will ruin the picture, but I just want to see if. So this is the Signo Uniball. So if I go around like this, I don't get you can tell. Same with the Posca. I'll use these three. In fact, let me use the Jelly Roll first, because I know people use Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll. This one is Signo. And then lastly, Posca. Let me bring this up. There you go. I know it's but for the purpose of the review, as you can see, the brightest line of all of them is still the Arteza in the middle, regardless of which pen you use. The Posca was patchy. The Jelly Roll was patchy. And the Signo was probably consistent but not as opaque as the Arteza. So I hope that review enlightened you to some things and has enticed you or enabled you to go and buy the Arteza White Gel Pens. Links are in the description. I'm not affiliated with any of them, so don't be worried about clicking the links. They'll be in the description. And enjoy if you do buy a set of Arteza gel pens. So that's bye from me for now, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, everyone.